This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.
What is happening, you guys? Welcome to Let's Go Win podcast. You are on Valuable Voices, and we're dealing with a little bit of a technical difficulty. So right now, you get to see just my face and not the guest who I definitely want to feature. But if we get Chris on, and we will at some point, whether it's today or in the next couple of days, I want to talk to you about what Chris and his team are doing over at GoBundance. He is the CEO of GoBundance, a high-level mastermind group and a supportive tribe for successful men who want to grab life big. Chris has a wealth of knowledge. After graduating from University of Texas at Austin in 1989, he started his first business, Erasmus Network Services. Under his leadership, he installed a culture of self-reliance and perseverance, and he grew Erasmus to over 130 employees with revenues just under 10 million before its acquisition. He has since taken over as CEO of GoBundance, and he harnesses and carries the expertise of collective intelligence of over 600 GoBundance members to improve their investment acumen, business decisions, and family dynamics. And guys, full disclosure, I am now a member of GoBundance, and they are doing some pretty awesome things. And I just want to share it with all of you, men, especially for the event I'm going to talk about that's happening in Miami, which is going to be taking place on March 10th and then again on April 5th. And here's what Chris has done. He's such a cool guy. He literally has provided for everyone an opportunity to come to Miami. He's going to feed you lunch. You get to go through a 5-hour mastermind with all these amazing human beings. You get to learn about what GoBundance is. And then he even takes you out, and you can have, a little happy hour afterwards and spend more time with everyone. And here's what I would tell you to do. Check it out. If you are going to be in the Miami area, if you think, you know what, I'm looking to level up, I want to be around successful people, just take a look at it, because I will tell you, I went to their event in Park City, Utah. And here's how it happened. I actually had a podcast with one of their founders. His name's Mike McCarthy, awesome dude. And he's like, hey, man, have you heard about GoBundance? And I was like, you know what? That name sounds familiar. Is that the same as Fanbundance? And he said, well, yeah, how do you know about that? And I said, well, my neighbor, John Clyde, he's like, oh, yeah, John, we worked together and they knew each other. And that's how I actually connected. And so I was like, all right, that's two people. Well, a couple weeks later, I'm doing a podcast with Eric Cabral, and he's wearing this bracelet, and I thought it said abundance. And abundance is a huge word in my world. I love the word. I try to live my life in an abundant fashion. And so anyway, Eric, I said, is that abundance? He said, no, it's GoBundance. He said, you know what? We're doing an event in Utah. You should check it out. Well, guys, literally 2 weeks before the event, I decided, let's go ahead and book a flight. I went ahead and told the whatever, I think it was $5,000 or something like that, which is not the normal event price, but I was so late to the party. And so I go to this event, and it was remarkable. I mean, I am around these men from around the country that are literally doing what they call the 6 pillars. And here's what I'll tell you. I don't know how much I can disclose. I think I can disclose them all. I guess I will, or I'll get slapped on the hand later for it. But really, it's 6 areas of life that these men are working on. And here's what's interesting about it. When I would talk to these guys about their experience with GoBundance, they all said the exact same thing, which is, you know what? It didn't just help me in the professional side of things. It wasn't just that my income increased, which of course it did. They said my entire life got better. And so I was like, well, that's really unique. You don't hear that when you just go to these masterminds. Tell me more about it. Well, of course, I got to learn all about it. And I'm going to give you the 6 pillars, guys. And again, I don't think I'm giving away any really proprietary information other than they're so good at helping us focus on it. And that's age-defined health. When you see some of the members that are, oh, thank you, Mike McCarthy, who, thank you, brother, for being here. He said we're an open book. So when you see these guys, you see men that are 60, 70, and they are moving. They were rolling down the slopes in Park City, Utah. So age-defined health is number one. The second one, and this is why I signed up to be a part of GoBundance, authentic relationships. It is not surface level bullshit, guys. I am talking about really getting to know another human being, heart to heart, connecting with another person. And here's what's so cool about it. There is very little ego that I encountered on my trip. It was all about, how can I support you, brother? What can I do to lift you up? Because they truly believe that when they, okay, Chris says he's good to go. I'm going to try and add him on really quick, you guys, so bear with me if we get him. Hey, Chris, are you there, brother?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Dude, I got you. You sound amazing.
Third time's the charm, my friend.
I appreciate you hanging in there, man. And again, I did as best I could on an intro. Obviously you've taken over as CEO. I know you're doing these amazing masterminds. In fact, brother, I think you're at the hotel in Miami right now. Chris, just talk to the folks about, what GoBundance is. I was diving into the 6 pillars. I don't know how much you heard of that, but I'd love to have you pick up and take it from here.
So, first and foremost, let me start with gratitude. I want to thank you for connecting with me in Park City. I'm grateful for the time you and I spent together. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be on this call and be exposed to your audience. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk about GoBundance. I appreciate and was as I was working through my different Apple products, my iPad, my MacBook Air, and now I'm finally on my iPhone. I was listening to you offer up my bio. A few quick things. So by background, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've built and sold a host of different organizations. My first company, I actually started when I was 17 years old. When I came into college, my parents declared me financially independent after the first semester. So as we all know, fear is a phenomenal motivator. And so it was fear of having to go home or having to drop out of college that got me started with my first business. Did that until I graduated, came up to Dallas, wound up going to grad school for a year there, started another company. And that was the company that was able to get sold and had a minor exit on that. And then what I discovered is that my true calling in life is to help others recognize and realize their significance in life. And I was fortunate enough in 1996 to be introduced to a gentleman by the name of Bob Buford. He wrote a book called Halftime, which the subtitle is Man's Transition from Success to Significance. And I was 27, 28 maybe when I read that book. And it hit me like a freight train. And I realized from that point forward that my job was to create opportunities to move the needle, not just in the success sphere, but really in the significance sphere. And so I've been doing that progressively throughout my career and have found tremendous significance in the work that I do with GoBundance. And so I am privileged to be the GoBundance CEO, have been since July of 2020. And the overriding drive, as you were jumping into the 6 pillars, the overriding drive for GoBundance is we strive to move the needle of significance in the lives of our members and create value that is holistic. So when you talk about the 6 pillars, from extreme accountability to generous contribution to horizontal income, all of these things are designed to do more than just change our members' bank accounts. That's fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for these, 670 men, for the 120 women that are part of GoBundance, it's not good enough for us just to help them be better investors, business people, business owners. We are equally, if not even more so, committed to helping them be better husbands, wives, parents, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, community leaders. And so the aperture of impact is open as wide as we can make it. We take a very holistic approach in terms of creating choice, opportunity, programming, impact. And what we are finding, especially in the last few years, is entrepreneurs, leaders, successful people all respond to this focus on this holistic, significant, fulfilling platform that we're building.
Brother, the thing that strikes me is, again, I know your resume. I've looked you up. If you guys look them up on LinkedIn, it's pretty remarkable. But my comment is, you have such humility and truly servant leadership, because Pat Hyman, David Osborne, Tim Rode, Mike McCarthy, those four founders, they're pretty darn successful, and they found a guy with equal or greater power and influence in this world. But brother, you are such a servant leader. It is truly why I was so attracted to this organization. I guess it's a question, it's a statement, but that runs rampant through your organization now. That is how GoBundance feels. It's not about, hey, look at my resume. It's not a measuring contest. It's how can I lift you up, brother? And I want people to know that. So is that something that you've just always done? Is that something that's obviously intentional? It's who you are, but I want people to be able to feel that. How can they really become a part and to know about GoBundance?
So you number of things to unpack in what you shared. The first thing is the culture and the ethos of GoBundance as a servant leader organization existed long before I ever rolled in. So that was absolutely something that Tim Rode, Pat Hyben, and David Osborne created back in 2005. So that culture and that mindset already existed before I came to the table. The great news is we are doubling, if not tripling down on that mindset. My title is CEO. It could just as easily be steward. My job here is pretty straightforward. I want to create as much value, as much quality, as much choice for these GoBundance men and women. And I want to allow them to continue to build on their journeys in life. And if we do our job right, the impact is not limited to just the GoBundance member, but it's their spouse, their families, their businesses, their communities, their religious organizations, whatever position that the GoBundance members are in terms of their community. We believe that with the 6 pillars, we have a phenomenal book called Tribe of Millionaires that I highly recommend anybody who's interested in GoBundance pick up. And at the end of the day, we really believe that we can change the trajectory, not only of these men and women in terms of their lives, but also the lives of their families. And that's a higher calling than just a networking group, a mastermind group, an investment group. We're shooting for the stars in this one, and very much working our asses off to make sure we can get there.
Well, I experienced it, you guys. It literally was a room of walking testimonials without asking. I mean, literally, lives are being changed because of this organization, because of the leveling up, because of everyone being so supportive. Brother, I'm looking at the clock. It's already 15 minutes. I promise you, I know you got a flight to catch at some point. I want to give you just open forum because you have as much time as you want, man, but I want to respect your time. I said 15, so I'll give you open forum. I know you're doing the mastermind events in Miami, and anything else you want to touch on, Chris, so that if somebody's saying, you know what, I want to check this out, where would they go to? What's the best place? So I'll kind of open forum that. So again, I'll take you as long as I can get you, but I want to respect your time.
You're a good man, Jam, and I really like you, and I've enjoyed the interaction that we've had. So thank you again for this. So open forum. So few things. First thing is the culture of GoBundance is probably what I am focused on protecting and strengthening as much as possible. So why do I say that? GoBundance is not for everybody, right? So you commented on the humility of the organization. That's universal to the men and women within GoBundance. Everybody understands the importance of checking the ego at the door. You know, in the worlds that we inhabit, everybody has to have at least a strong ego just to kind of survive. But in the world of GoBundance, it's, you know, we call it a tribe. I've called it on multiple occasions a family. This is a really tight community of men. We have about, as I said, about 670 men, about 120 women. And what we believe is when we get together, we're there to do four things. The first thing we're there to do is we're there to learn and to develop our skills and our expertise across a myriad of issues and opportunities. The second thing that we're there to do is we're there to fellowship and connect with other members or of the organization. The third thing we're there to do is we're there to take what we've learned and usually engage somebody else. Starts with the family. So oftentimes from the work that we do, we're dialing in the spouses. We have a number of programs and trips specifically designed for couples so that you can double down on your relationships. We also are big on supporting the children of GoBundance. We have an entire program called FamBundance that is specifically designed to really exalt the children of the GoBundance members. And what it does is it helps them not only recognize their own and strengthen their own self-confidence and self-worth, but just like with GoBundance, they get to connect with other like-minded children at their age, at their space in life. That's great. All of those programs are fantastic. But one of the things that I'm probably most proud of in the context of GoBundance is we're there to support, to help, to encourage, to nurture, and to push each other. So one of the pillars is extreme accountability. I think you mentioned that before I jumped on. And at the end of the day, we have a what I'll call a carefrontation mentality. What's that? So carefrontation is, JM, love you, brother. You're an outstanding human being, but you've told me there are three things that you're going to knock out. You've done one of the three. What's holding you back? And so it's confrontation with tremendous care. And in doing that, we not only help support each other, we help push each other. And oftentimes, especially with a modicum of success, it's easy to believe the press that's being spun up around you, and it's easy to coast. We don't coast, right? Every one of the members of GoBundance men or GoBundance women, you know, we're all type A. We're all relatively heat-seeking missiles. Everyone can be pretty intense. And so we're here to help each other grow, learn, develop. We're here to support each other. We're also here to, lovingly give each other a kick in the pants if needed. We're also here to identify blind spots that we may have or others may have and not recognize. I'm in a hotel room in Miami right now, and yesterday I hosted a what we called an open meeting for a group of about 8 men. And, these 8 successful guys, technology, healthcare, real estate, financial services were some of the industries that were in the room. We spent 4.5 hours, primarily talking about relationships, because regardless of the success that you have, regardless of the fiefdoms and the kingdoms that you've built, if your relationships aren't in order, what do you got? Who cares how many zeros are in your bank account if your spouse and you are in a bad space? Your children could care less about the last deal that you've done, for the most part. So we focus on truly what I believe is the most important things in life. We do so in a community that is incredibly connected, incredibly supportive, and incredibly nurturing. We have been lucky enough and blessed enough to have some pretty significant success over the course of the last 18 months that I've been a part of the organization. We're very optimistic in terms of where GoBundance is going this year and in the future. I appreciate the offer. We have a conference coming up in Miami at the hotel I'm at right now. It's the Biscayne Bay Marriott, the 27th of April through May 1st. It's going to be off the chart. And my suggestion and recommendation to any of your listeners that are interested in learning more about GoBundance, first thing, hit the website. It's www.GoBundance.com. You're welcome to reach out to me. My email is chris.ryan@gobundance.com. And we'll do whatever we can to support you in your journey towards learning about GoBundance. And we have some qualifications in terms of membership. If you are interested in applying, you can hit the membership link off the website. And whether or not you come to GoBundance or not, our mission and our calling is to do what we can to help and support. And so to the extent that we can do that, we will.
Well, it is a class act, and you're leveling everyone up. I would be remiss if I didn't mention, guys, when I was in Park City, a big part is also contribution. In just shy of, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, almost 400,000 was donated to these very worthy nonprofits, organizations that are doing great in the world. And Chris, if you can maybe briefly just touch on that. I know we're over time, brother, but that is just, in the fabric of the DNA of this organization. And if you're sitting here going, you know what, cool, I want to build age-defying health, I want to increase my net worth, I want to do these things. But guess what? You also get to give back to the world in such a remarkable way. Can you touch on that real quick, brother?
Yeah, I'm happy to. And thanks, JM. That's an important thing that I didn't really mention previously. So here's the inside baseball on genuine contribution. The soundbite is this: the gift of giving is oftentimes not to the receiver, it's to the giver. So let me give you an example. I have a 20-year-old daughter who is in college in Nashville, Tennessee right now. I have been dragging her to charity events since she was probably 4 years old, and she's been to hundreds of them over the course of the last 16, 17 years. My daughter has learned more about finances, more about creating a business case, more about kindness, more about recognizing everybody for who they are, not the situations they find themselves in, more about networking, more about connecting with people through the charity work that she and I have done together than anything else. That is it. That work is probably one of the best gifts I could ever give my child. And I also find that from a fulfillment, satiation, happiness, joyful standpoint, you were in the room with Mick Ebeling from Not Impossible Labs. We raised over 118,000 literally in about 25, 30 minutes. You were there.
Yeah.
You know, we raised money for Virgin Unite, which is the foundation arm of Sir Richard Branson's organization. We raised money for the Footprint Coalition. We may raise money for One Life, which was started by one of the founders of GoBundance, Tim Rode. We move the needle not only in our lives, but as I open this conversation, in the lives of others. And I believe that part of our obligation with our success and the significance that we've created is to pay it forward. And what better way to do that in a room of 300 plus men than to recognize these outstanding charities for who they are and to help them along their way, just as we have been helped by others along our way as well.
Well, man, I want to thank you for being here. I appreciate you as a leader, but I appreciate you as a human being. Like, you are genuine. What you see right now, guys, is exactly what you're going to see on stage. You're going to see him off stage. Chris and his whole organization is a real deal. I want you to go check it out. Go to GoBundance. We'll link a couple links so you can go to the Miami events or some of the other events happening this year. And Chris, man, I just thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Outstanding. JM, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, you're a phenomenal host. I really have enjoyed the time we've gotten to know one another, and I look forward to seeing you in Miami in about a month and a half.
Can't wait. You guys, please go check it out. This guy and his whole team is phenomenal. I immediately signed up. You didn't have to ask. I want to be, and I am now fortunate to be around all these people. Until next time, remember, your mindset matters. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody. God bless.
Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.